Hey pumpkins, it is so good to see you today. Today is going to be a little different. We are going to try soft speaking. Hopefully my voice cooperates and we don't have any crazy cracks or anything, but let's try something new. It is the start of spring, the new season, and so it's time for some new things. I wanted to do some poetry today, and I figured the best way to do the poetry would be soft speaking. We have done poetry before for October, for Halloween, and it was whispering, and I thought it was good. I enjoyed it, and it was fun to make. But I thought it's time to try the soft speaking with the poetry. Kind of see if it sounds any different. So I picked out a few poems tonight, and I'd like to read them for you if you would like to join me. I have one of my favorite blankets. I'm wearing one of my favorite shirts, and we are just going to be cozy and welcome in this new season. So let's get started. The first poem that we have is called Early Spring by Alfred Lord Tennyson. Let's begin. Once more the heavenly power makes all things new, and domes the red-ploughed hills with loving blue. The blackbirds have their wills, the throstles too. Opens a door in heaven from skies of glass, a Jacob's ladder falls on greening grass. And o'er the mountain walls young angels pass. Before them fleets the shower, and burst the buds, and shine the level lands, and flash the floods. The stars are from their hands flung through the woods with living airs, how softly fanned, light airs from where the deep, all down the sand, is breathing in his sleep, heard by the land. Oh, follow, leaping blood, the season's lure. Oh, heart, look down and up, serene, secure. Warm as the crocus cup, like snowdrops pure. Past, future, glimpse and fade, through some slight spell, a gleam from yonder veil, some far blue fell, and sympathies, how frail, in sound and smell. Till at thy chuckled note, thou twinkling bird, the fairy fancies range, and lightly stirred, ring little bells of change from word to word. For now the heavenly power makes all things new, and thaws the cold, and fills the flowers with dew. The blackbirds have their wills, the poets too. Now let's do a few short poems. Got a few on my page here. Let's see. Let's do one by Emily Dickinson called A Little Madness in Spring. A little madness in the spring is wholesome even for the king. But God be with the clown who ponders this tremendous scene, this whole experiment of green, as if it were his own. would add my commentary about the poetry, but I really don't know. I'm not one that, I wouldn't say I don't understand poetry, but I definitely am not an English major, that is for sure. I enjoy poetry, I do, and I like to read it. But sometimes it's nice just to listen and feel how the words sound in your ears, instead of trying to figure out what it's trying to tell you. It's nice just to close your eyes and listen. If you feel inclined to close your eyes now, please do. Let's see. The next one, Spring Thunder by Mark Van Doren. Listen, the wind is still, and far away in the night, see, the uplands fill with a running light. Open the doors, it is warm, and where the sky was clear, look, the head of a storm that marches here. Come under the trembling hedge, fast although you fumble. There, did you hear the edge of winter crumble? See, this is a poem. When I read it, I know exactly what the poet is describing. It's a dark kind of storm on the horizon that you can just see in the distance. But it's not like the storm that you get in the fall or maybe a snowstorm in the winter. No, this one is exciting and invigorating, and it washes away the rest of winter as it crumbles, as the poet puts it. I have been feeling a little, I'm sure most of us have, a little bit down in the winter. They call it the winter blues, I guess, which is, ironically, we have a lot of blue today. But these winter blues, I feel, kind of every year, they seem to snatch you up, just kind of grab you and hold you. And spring comes, and it just bursts through, and that first day that you get over 70 degrees, it's nice and sunny outside, the way it feels. I don't know about you, but I love those warm 75-degree days when the sun is shining, there's a light breeze, and you just get to sit and enjoy the new weather. Of course, where I live in Texas, that is very quickly followed up by another freeze. So all of your plants are confused because they thought it would be very warm outside, and all of a sudden it's 20 degrees again. So we call it a false spring, I guess. But now that spring is officially here, we're going to be having warm weather, and our plants will be very happy. So it makes me very happy. Let's read, speaking of plants, let's read this next poem. Daisy Time by Marjorie Pickthall. See, the grass is full of stars, fallen in their brightness. Hearts they have of shining gold, rays of shining whiteness. Buttercups have honeyed hearts, bees, they love the clover. But I love the daisy's dance, all the meadow over. Blow, oh blow, you happy winds, singing summer's praises, up the field and down the field, a-dancing with the daisies. I do love the way that daisies look. But I have discovered a couple of years ago a very strong love for the daffodil, which I'm sure you know is the beautiful little yellow flower that almost reminds me of tulips. They kind of have the same greenery, the same stems. But I went to visit my brother last year up in the north, and seeing these hills up the side of the hill, all down the highway, was these just massive fields of daffodils, this beautiful yellow, just all sprinkled all over the highway. It was so heartwarming. That just bright yellow color. Ironically, yellow is not my favorite color. It's not even in the top 3. But that like warmth from those buttery flowers is springtime to me, I think. Tulips are very close. I do love tulips. I'm kind of contractually obligated to like tulips. They are, after all, Ryan's favorite flower. But daffodils. There is something about a daffodil. What's your favorite flower? Is it a rose? It's a very good choice. Is it the forget-me-not? The small and blue? It's one of my favorites too. Is it a snapdragon? Those are a little bit unique. I like those. Maybe your favorite flower is an orchid or a lily, perhaps. Maybe your favorite flower isn't a flower at all, but a weed. Maybe you like a dandelion, and you like to pluck them and spread their little seeds all over the yard as you make your wish. It's kind of like wishing on a star, except you don't have to wait for it to be nighttime. You can just do it whenever. Okay, let's read this one by Robert Louis Stevenson, called In the Green and Gallant Spring. In the green and gallant spring, love and the lyre I thought to sing, and kisses sweet to give and take, by the flowery hawthorn brake. Now is russet autumn here, death and the grave and winter drear, and I must ponder here aloof, while the rain is on the roof. This one is kind of an interesting poem. It's a little bit about spring, but it also mentions autumn and winter. I would think of the 4 seasons, we have spring, summer, fall or autumn, and then winter. I would think the 2 seasons that are the most similar are spring and autumn. So seeing both of them written here in this poem is kind of fitting, I think. You have the green and gallant spring, and then later the russet autumn, and the death and the grave that winter brings. While spring and autumn both have rain on the roof as well. They're kind of like a mirror, I would think. Like sort of opposites of the same spectrum, which I guess maybe I'm not really making a profound statement because summer and winter are direct opposites, but there's something about the awakeness of spring that you get after the winter season that I feel when fall comes after summer. Summer here in Texas is very hot and very dead because everything is burned. But you get fall and it kind of rejuvenates your body and your soul. It brings in that nice cool air that you need. So, in a way, I guess, it's the opposite, but the same as spring. It's kind of interesting when you think about it. But maybe I'm thinking about it too hard. I usually overthink things. So the last poem that we have today is by Henry Jackson Van Dyke, and it is called Spring in the South, which I live in the South, so this should be very fitting. Let's see. Now in the oak the sap of life is welling, though to the bough the rusty leafage clings. Now on the elm the misty buds are swelling. See how the pine wood grows alive with wings. Blue jays fluttering, yodeling and crying, meadowlarks sailing low above the faded grass, redbirds whistling, clear, silent, robins flying. Who has waked the birds up? What has come to pass? Last year's cotton plants, desolately bowing, tremble in the March wind, ragged and forlorn. Red are the hillsides of the early plowing, gray are the lowlands waiting for the corn. Earth seems asleep still, but she's only feigning. Deep in her bosom thrills a sweet unrest. Look where the jasmine lavishly is raining, Jove's golden shower into Danae's breast. Now on the plum the snowy bloom is sifted, now on the peach the glory of the rose. Over the hills a tender haze is drifted, full to the brim the yellow river flows. Dark cypress boughs with vivid jewels glisten, greener than emeralds shining in the sun. Who has wrought the magic? Listen, sweetheart, listen. The mockingbird is singing. Spring has begun. Hark, in his song no tremor of misgiving. All of his heart he pours into his lay. Love, 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 and pure delight of living. Winter is forgotten. Here's a happy day. Fair in your face I read the flowery presage, snowy on your brow and rosy on your mouth. Sweet in your voice I hear the season's message. Love, 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 and spring in the South. I dare say that is my favorite poem we have read today. And not just because it talked about the South. There are some times when you read a poem and you see the visuals, you feel it, but you don't connect to it. It's kind of misunderstood, I guess. Some of the other poems, like A Little Madness in the Spring, I feel that, it's quiet, hard to understand, so kind of complicated for a simple person like me. But with this poem, The Spring in the South, I feel like I can see the spring. I can feel the warmth on my face and see the different flowers he described. And it makes me want to be where the poet was when he wrote this. What was he doing? What was he thinking? What emotions was he feeling? I think I need to take back what I said earlier. Sometimes I guess I do overthink my poems. I do like to look for a deeper meaning. But then again, sometimes you just listen to the pretty words. So perhaps today, all you did was listen to me speak. Maybe you closed your eyes, tried to visualize what I was saying. Maybe you only watched this video for a moment and you're not watching now. But that doesn't matter. Nah. As long as you feel satisfied. As long as you feel satisfied. Spring is here. We are waking up. Well, right now we need to be resting, but we'll get to that. We're waking up. We're going to thaw out, and we're going to be satisfied with ourselves and with each other. We're going to be happy and thriving. If you are like me, and you have been having kind of a tough time, I want you to know it is going to be okay now. Spring is here. The flowers are blooming. The trees are getting their leaves back. It's gonna be okay. Sometimes you can feel like a barren tree yourself, you know, all your leaves have fallen off. But they'll be back. The sun is out, and you will continue to grow. So, thank you for joining me tonight. I hope that you enjoyed these poems. Let me know which one was your favorite. Like I said, my favorite was Spring in the South. But perhaps if I give the others another read, I will learn to appreciate them a little bit more. Thank you very much for joining me tonight as we read through these poems. I hope that you were able to relax. I hope that you enjoyed some of them. I hope that you are ready to leave those winter blues behind you and take in that fresh breath of spring and be ready for all of those good things to come your way. I will see you very, very soon.